They say you're in good with the guild. You're allowed into the back rooms where Sweet Poison Lin runs her shop, aren't you? I have a favor to ask of you when you have a moment. My name's Gambler Daoshin, by the way. I run the straightest dice in the Imperial City. I wouldn't want to feed my children with tarnished silver, would I? Good odds and fair play. That's how I keep them coming back. You're not here to play? What did you want to talk to me for, then? I know you're allowed to go freely into the back room past Kui's office. Would you carry a message to someone in there for me? There's a merchant in the back named Sweet Poison Lin. She has connections with the guild, the real authorities in this place. I want to expand my operation, but without the guild's approval and protection, I can only take very small bets. If I made any larger transactions, they'd be quite upset. I spoke to some of the lesser guild members, and there's a set fee that must be paid to Sweet Poison Lin. It took me some time to save up the silver, but I have the fee. I just can't get back there to talk to Lin and pay her directly. If you could go in there and pay her on my behalf, I'd happily repay you. I would never do that. I'd be shut down or worse in a heartbeat. And there's too many people who'd happily report the infraction to Sweet Poison Lin. The guild rewards those who can prove that people in my position aren't playing by their rules. My thanks. I'm sure Sweet Poison Lin knows about my interest. I've been angling this deal for a while. You should run back there now. The sooner you go, the sooner we can up the antes.
What do you need from me? Dao Shen? He has angled for a long time for our permission to run a larger game. He's honest to a fault, but he still pulls in a fair bit of cash. I was wondering if he'd be resourceful enough. One of my associates has already told him of the cost involved. Are you here to deliver his payment? His payment? Good. Give it to me, and I'll send someone to go discuss the new terms of his operation. Now, back to our business, yes? I'll be here when you need more of my goods.
Before you say a thing, I had a visit from one of Sweet Poison Lin's contacts. Fantastic news! I can up the bets! Now you can wager 10 or 25 silver on each roll. This is perfect! And I have you to thank. Thank you again for paying the fee from your own silver. Here's your repayment and a little extra for your time. Now that we can play for larger bets, let's say we set up a game. Thanks again for all your help. Be seeing you around, I hope.
So, things are looking up. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins. With the recommendation of the Executioner, the others will welcome you as a recruit. You can slip into the very heart of their lair.
And after we find the evidence against Death's hand, you will take us to the palace to find Master Li?
I promise, little Dawn Star. After we get what I want from the Lotus Assassins, the palace is the first place we will go. You have permission, so there won't be any trouble entering. It's only after we have the evidence against Death's hand that they might notice something is wrong.
It would still be good to get some information first. Sagacious Zoo might know something. We should ask him. Where is he?
Well, you should be more careful of who you trust. That is true. I wouldn't trust any of the ragged homeless you have collected. No offense meant to those of you who are actually homeless, Dawn Star. If Sagacious Zoo has gone to warn the Lotus Assassins, you need to move quick. If he's just run off, he is no longer our concern.
Zoo would not turn on us.
The Lotus Assassin Fortress is in the far end of the Necropolis. They shouldn't give you any trouble. Just appear confident as you enter. The Inquisitor will have some task that needs addressing, I'm sure. Scholar Dong Gao in the Scholar's Garden is the contact. Do not hesitate for too long. Sagacious Zoo's sudden flight has made our task somewhat more urgent. You must go to the Lotus Assassin Fortress like we agreed. Find the evidence against Death's hand, and I will help you rescue Master Li. I don't understand. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins with a fair amount of ease. What else is there to speak of? Is there something you are wondering? About me? I am Princess Sun Lian, the Heavenly Lily. What more are you worthy of knowing? I do not remember ever being allowed to just be a child. My mother died when I was born, shortly before the end of the long drought and the fall of my uncles. I was in the care of tutors too afraid to punish me and too ingratiating to teach me anything useful. I quickly found ways to sneak away from the palace. They dared not report my excursions for fear they would be punished. They would scurry around all day trying in vain to find me. Yes, it was. I didn't fully understand the risk and made some mistakes. But in the end, what I have become is a result of that. In the city, I met the people. The peasants, the homeless, the thieves. It was a much different world from what you see from the palace. They never realized who I was. I'm sure they would have been terrified of the army storming in to rescue me. Most just wanted to be left alone. That life was exciting, but also useful. Even Lotus Assassins overlook the beggar on the street, but she still has eyes and ears. Ah, the shadow behind my public self. How else can a curious princess learn what really happens in her domain? I don't have time to interpret the veiled statements of advisors, so I became a thief, an assassin, whatever I needed to be. People will not speak to the princess. Bad news kills the messenger first. Silk Fox knows how to persuade. That is how I learned about the activities of Death's Hand. There are many excuses for a vain princess to retreat from sight for days, even weeks at a time. My father encourages such getaways. And if courtiers ever discovered that I was not where I said I would be, who would dare question the heavenly lily? I may eschew the formality of it, but being the daughter of the Emperor still has its privileges. There is a freedom in it. I have the resources to go anywhere in the secrecy to do anything. If I wished it, I could be quite carefree. But that is not what I have found in practice. Instead, I see how my father's reign has twisted, and I know I must do something. It would be very improper for someone of my standing to say anything, unless you make me a little more comfortable. I have already shared something of myself. Can you tell me something about you? Is there anyone that you care for? I thought as much. She is simple in many respects. I do not mean that as an insult, really. Sometimes I wish I could be as honest about who I am. There are times when the line blurs between the Heavenly Lily and Silk Fox. I am no longer certain of which I truly am. I should not be ungrateful. Everything in my life is dedicated solely to making me happy, but I am at odds with so much. I am always behind a mask, not just when I am Silk Fox. I am not allowed to show an interest in politics, defending the Empire, or even spontaneous affection. You were amusing at first, but now I am drawn further than I meant to be. What do you suppose I should do about that? I am not certain I want you to. When I look at you, I see someone I could know better than anyone. Someone who could understand what I need. It frightens me how much you intrigue me. We need to stay focused on what is important, and that is exposing Death's Hand. Nothing else matters. I think we are through here. Do not hesitate for too long. Sagacious Zoo's sudden flight has made our task somewhat more urgent.
What? What do you want? Too much talking and thinking can be dangerous, I should know. I remember one cold winter I took a job clearing rats from a local monastery. I was supposed to make sure the pests stayed out of the sacred pools, but hunting rats one at a time is boring work. So I had an idea, a way to catch them all at once. I convinced the monks to give me some of their sacred wine, and I filled the sacred pools. I figured if I could get the rats drunk, they'd be so much easier to catch. Nothing happened at first, so I helped myself to the wine. I passed out before the rats came. In the middle of the night, I was woken up by screaming monks and fiery explosions. It was just the rats. The poor furry buggers were just trying to get warm near the monks' fires after their swim in the wine. Not a good combination. The monks wanted me gone. I might have deserved the blame, but the abbot insisted it was a sign from the gods and closed the monastery. See what happens when you think too much? Whatever.
I suppose it is good that the Lotus Assassin Executioner accepted you. I wish I felt better about that. Will you be heading to the Lotus Assassin Fortress soon? When you are through there, the princess will take us to the palace. I dread the answer, but is there something the Inquisitor wants you to do as well? We are much closer to finding our master, but the path you are forced to take worries me, and I don't think the princess shares my concern. We have faced these Lotus Assassins in small numbers before, but this is something different. I see the necessity of walking in their steps to fool them, but I am growing accustomed to you, and I don't want to see this change you. You embarrass me with such forward questions, but I think I like that as well. It bothers me that you risk so much to walk in the shadow of the enemy. You fought through the arena with your honor intact, but the Lotus Assassins will press you to commit far more vicious acts. I don't want to win if it claims the good in you. What right do we have to harmony if we sacrifice what we believe to get it? I know you won't, but it still does my heart good to hear it. The more I know about you, the more I want you to stay as you are. It would be a shame for something to happen when we are becoming close. We will talk again. I know everything will work out just fine. Very well, but we should get that business with Minister Shang out of the way.
Always happy to help. What do you need? I was thinking about a story my father once told me. He was a scoundrel, but he could spin a fine yarn when he wasn't robbing caravans. Have you ever heard the tale of the Eternal Companions? The Eternal Companions were a group of warriors that traveled the ancient kingdoms, well before the formation of the Empire. They were said to be giants, to know styles no one could match, to always appear to offer their services to a kingdom when times were worst. The tales are too fantastic to be accurate. Though I'm sure the Black Whirlwinds tried at least once, no one can actually cleave a mountain in two. What made me bring this up was just a simple thought. Were these companions real people once? Were they just like us? Something tells me they were, but not in the way you'd expect. You know how legends tend to grow in the telling? I think they also absorb other tales as they go. I doubt it. For instance, we have yet to wipe out a rival kingdom. Failing that, I'm a bit shy of 12 feet tall. The point is that when things are wrong, people believe that someone will do something about it. Whether we succeed or not, we are those someones right now. More importantly, you're the someone. You're the real reason we're together, and I worry about how much of this rides on your shoulders. What I'm really trying to say is that we're all with you until this thing is finished. I just hope you can draw some strength from that. Anytime. I hate to wax morbid, but this is serious business. Now, shouldn't you be talking to Dawn Star instead of me? I've seen the way that girl looks at you, and she deserves a little attention.
Yes? How can this humble bondmaster assist you today? Like many things in my life, it can be traced back to very bad luck on my part. As I mentioned once before, I was a master of the drunken master style. I was the tournament champion in Phoenix Gate when things spun out of control. My need for wine took its toll on my body. There are long periods I don't even remember. After one such period, I came to, having lost most of my clothes and all my money. I was destitute, and without the ability to buy more wine, I couldn't even fight. Eventually, I found work cleaning out creature cages at the local arena. One day, I was approached by a man who remembered seeing me fight. He offered to sponsor me. Just like that, I was back in the ring. After climbing my way back to the top of the tournament, my sponsor told me it was time to fulfill my end of the bargain. Apparently, the agreement stipulated that I must marry his niece. If only I had read the agreement more closely, I could still be shoveling dirt in the creature cages. Alas, fate had a crueler path in mind for me. Let that be a lesson for you. Always read the fine print, or you may end up with more than you bargained for. You're beginning to sound like my wife. Where were you last night? Why were you talking to that woman? Why do you smell like a goat? Always with the questions. As I mentioned earlier, after becoming tournament champion for the second time, I was forced to marry my sponsor's nubile niece. She is the reason I no longer fight. My disapproving dove did not care for my drinking, or for my friends, or my fighting, or my friends fighting. She believed I should settle down, be more respectable. At first I ignored her rebukes and continued fighting, but I soon learned that she was not a woman to be crossed. Prior to one fight, my duplicitous Daisy drugged my wine. I don't remember much of what happened next, which is fortunate. From what I hear, it wasn't very pretty. I spent the next several months under the tender ministrations of my doting wife. Needless to say, when I was well enough to walk again, I was more than happy to settle down. As to why I became a bondmaster, well, it's a hard, thankless job that keeps me very, very busy. Very busy. As you say, I will be here scrubbing your pots until you call upon me again.
Yes, yes, what can I do for you? Busy, busy. No time for chatty, chatty. Yes, yes, I am eager to return there. It is a masterful array of artful mechanics, despite being a bit overly polished. This Lord Lau, he could use a bit of restraint. No, I have not had any new insights. The best option I can suggest is just to keep your eyes open. There has to be reference to them somewhere. There were a few simple symbols on one of the larger furnace gears. I made a note of what it might translate to. Here, have a look. Yes, yes, I'll keep at my plans for the dragonfly. Perhaps a sling for carrying oxen. The industry could use some automation. A dying breed, the ox carrier.
I am honored that you have chosen me.
Ufna aknakir Yakowa krui ni rui kuperfita.
Purveyor, don't send me in there. I'm scared those things will see me before I can get into the cave. Please, don't make me do it.
Quernurk apayir. Quanurk kakanir. Ni usota. Mo wowirika titarir kone of atarir.
No! I will go. Please don't hurt my mother. I'll get the artifact for you. I promise.
Siyir sukut af knewo kup kipsitir sunurk.
How can he speak to her like that? She's just a little girl.
What do you want? You're working for Purveyor Shuji, aren't you? Please don't tell him I haven't gone yet. I'm going now, even though it will probably get me killed. I'm sorry. I'm just a little upset. I'm Jinlin. Is there something you want? Thanks, but I need to find a way to kill spirits. Purveyor Shuji wants me to fetch an artifact from an emperor's tomb in the necropolis. It's filled with ghosts. Purveyor's... He threatened to sell my mom to slave traders if I don't get this artifact. I don't know what to do. I can't fight ghosts. Really? It would be very dangerous, and I don't have anything to give you in return. Are you sure you want to do this? Thank you. You are very kind. My father would have liked you, I think. He was brave like you are. The tomb is over in the necropolis. The door is locked, but I can sneak inside and open it. I just have to be careful not to alert the ghosts. If you really think you can get rid of the ghosts, I'll head over to the tomb and wait for you there. Great! I'll wait by the steps of the Emperor's tomb. I'm sure you'll find it easily enough. See you soon, I hope.
There you are. The governor sent Ho Chong, one of his lapdogs, to oversee the trial. I hope you learned something, or I'll have to proceed with Song Tao's sentencing. He took you there? That's incredible. That's remarkable. Well, what did you find? Have you discovered evidence that exonerates Scholar Song Tao?
Ha! That doesn't prove a thing. Pieces of paper can be bought and sold just like anything. Just like anyone.
I'm afraid you're quite mistaken, Chandlerling. This proves a great many things, including your guilt. I never suspected the slavers were so well connected.
Let me see that. Well, this certainly looks interesting. Suppose Scholar Sung Tao can go free then. And you, Chandler Ling, will come with me for sentencing. It will be quick and harsh, I suspect. This sort of thing will not be tolerated in the Empire.
It's all a lie. You don't know what you're doing. You're all making a very big mistake.
Thank you. Thank you for risking yourself to help me. If there's anything I can do to repay you, please ask. You are too kind. I have no real way to repay you. However, I do have some items you might be interested in. They're not here, of course. Come and find me in the Scholar's Garden, and I will be glad to show you what I have. I'll see you there. Goodbye, and thank you again.
That was very noble of you. I've never known anyone else who would risk so much to help a complete stranger. You surprised even me. Shouldn't visiting ministers have more dignified accommodations?
Ah, my good friend! What a pleasant surprise to see you here, in the glory that is the Imperial City. Well, everywhere but here, it seems. Woe is to Minister Sheng that the only place available was this filthy dockhouse. You are not alone in that assumption. It seems it was recently procured and has not been modified for ministry use yet. Remember that the Ministry of Harmony controls executions and taxations. I shudder to think which landed them ownership of this fine establishment. Ah, well. Minister Sheng has not forgotten how you helped him with his troubles in Tian's Landing. Without your efforts, the Great Dam might still be open. However, I'm afraid I don't have time to speak with you right now. I have to prepare my report for Judge Fang, by which I mean to watch over this honor gift. Yes, a valuable offering for the mighty Judge Fang. Without it, he might turn me away before I can even make my report, condemning me to the horrors of Tian's Landing forever. But with this gift, he is certain to appreciate the depth of my admiration and respect. So much so that he might give me a new posting right here in the Imperial City. Understandably, with so much riding on this gift, I am loath to leave it in the care of these Imperial soldiers appointed to watch over me during my visit. The Ministry of Harmony offers pitiful wages, and I do not put much stock in the purchased loyalty of these guards, particularly toward Minister Sheng. Minister Sheng is grateful for your offer, particularly since I've forgone 2 nights' sleep to keep watch on my treasure since my arrival. And you proved your loyalty to Minister Sheng when you closed the Great Dam. I would feel quite secure with this treasure under your watchful eye. The rest of you guards, out! You are no longer needed here. Someone Sheng actually trusts will watch over my honor gift while I finally get to retire to my bed.
Minister, are you sure this is a good idea?
You dare to question me? I know your mind. You are plotting against Sheng. You plan to steal my treasure. Get out. Get out of here at once. Minister Sheng will now go for some much-needed rest. I'll return in the morning. Keep a close watch on this gift until my meeting with Judge Fang tomorrow. Minister Sheng almost overslept. Judge Fang will be here any minute. Quick, out of the way! I want Fang to see me standing beside the honor gift when he enters. I bid you warm and humble greetings from Tian's Landing, O great and honorable judge. I'm eager to present my report. I'm sure you will find it most interesting.
What's that you have there for me, Sheng?
You have a keen and observant eye, mighty Fang. I have brought you a gift, a small token of my esteem for you.
Turtle's eggs? What is the meaning of this, Sheng? You dare mock me with this insult?
No! There must be some mistake!
Oh, I understand all too well, Sheng. These eggs are your way of getting back at me for assigning you to Tian's Landing. But I will have the last laugh, Sheng. I banish you to Tian's Landing. Wait there until I summon you back to the Imperial City. It shouldn't take more than a decade or two.
Wait! Judge Fang! Please come back! No! You did this to me. You have disgraced Minister Sheng. I am doomed to remain trapped at my wretched post in Tian's Landing forever. No, Minister Sheng will not accept this. Judge Fang has not heard my report yet. I will not return to Tian's Landing without giving my report. I refuse to abandon the glories of the Imperial City. I simply won't leave. You can't make me. Nobody can. Minister Sheng will not be moved.
Sair Yagowak, Coconato Siri Panoneniku.
Sairos tiusiat, Sarorasi Pahukali Napsoaku.
Usair Coconato, Tanatir, Katanano, Shafatoyo, Coconato Siri Panoneniku. Sata tawi ia wanawa fu kuno su kutnia awafawa ia sutuk. Sata tawi ia wanawa fu kuno su kutnia awafawa ia sutuk. Usair Coconato, Tanatnia, Katanano, Shafatoyo, Coconato Siri Panoneniku. Irkana, o Nikasurir Kwana no Kasairiru.
So, things are looking up. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins. And you've made doubly certain of it by aiding both the Executioner and Inquisitor. Very impressive. The way to the Lotus Assassin Fortress is open. Everything is in place. I'll have my evidence against Death's Hand soon enough. Oh, and you'll have access to your Master Li as well.
How generous of you.
I hope you're not here to pester me. I'm a very busy, important, and educated man, you know. All manner of studies. The history of dramatic systems, applied theology, and, celestial integration. All of these are vital pursuits of knowledge. Not that you would understand such lofty matters. Well, it's the application of the study of theological things, isn't it? For instance, knowing about spirits and then finding a use for that knowledge. Well, no, not really. This is the study of applied theology, not the application of studied theology. That's something else entirely. Well, you see, drama can be broken down into several systems, and I study the history of those systems over time, how they've changed, and that sort of thing. Well, there's the new system, of course, but everyone knows that. Then we have the old system, which, as you may surmise, is no longer in use. That's a brief summary of my latest work, at any rate. Oh, it's all very complex, and I really don't feel like describing it to you at any length. That's how you know I'm a scholar, you see. An unwillingness to share all the information I have. Of course not! I'm... Ah, drat. This isn't working at all. How did you know? You're here to hunt me down, then. Lord Rento has it in for me, and I figured it would come to this. I don't suppose running would do me any good. This is what passes for justice in the Imperial City? I was unjustly accused. I simply petitioned Lady Rento for some silver to support me as an actor. Patronage, it's called. She agreed, but her husband flew into a rage when he found out, and now I have a death sentence on my head. It's not fair, and if you were a decent person, you'd help me get out of this city instead of taking me in. It's the only way I'll get clear of Lord Rento's wrath. You need more proof than my pathetic attempt to pose as a scholar? How about the fact that Lord Rento was out of town when I bilked him? Not that anyone but Lady Rento will confirm that for you. Still, it should be apparent that I'm not some great confidence man. We should go see Captain Sen right away if you're sure. Is now a fair time to go down to the gate to get me out of here? The only easy way out of this city is through the gate that Sen is guarding, and he's looking for me. However, if I disguise myself as a mercenary and sneak past him, I might just get away, but you have to help me by distracting him. Just tell him that I've already escaped, and I'll get away just fine. I can't imagine what might go wrong.
Citizen, I hear there's progress in the search for creative Yukon. A scholar ran out of the Scholar's Garden after talking to you. Tell me you have good news. How did he get past me? He couldn't access a flyer. What is that man doing? Are you certain he's gone? Would a bit of silver jog your memory? What do you say? Look at that tart swinging her hips for that mercenary. I can't see how Yukon slipped past us. Did he bribe one of my agents somehow? Well, The Imperial Army has more silver than some confidence man. Take my meaning. I should arrest that accursed tourist. Look, you spoke to a nervous scholar, and now Yukong has suddenly disappeared. Suspicious. What if I offered you the normal bounty plus half? Would that change anything? Well, if you say so. Despite Lord Rento's insistence to the contrary, I doubt he was a master criminal. Perhaps I'll just declare Yukong's bounty a dead matter. Is there anything else that the Imperial Army can do for one of our fine citizens? Right you are. Remember to keep an eye out for anyone suspicious.
Death.
Well, stranger, you have some spirit to you. You fight like a demon. Those poor lost souls didn't stand a chance against you. I could use the skills of a man like you. An honest working man like me can't compare with someone like you, but you can definitely help me with a problem I've been having. My name is Shen. I'm the first gravedigger here. It's my job to look over the necropolis and make sure all the peaceful souls are laid to rest. I've got to dig the holes, fill them, and balance the books and everything. Nice, proper burials. But now, with all these ghosts rising again, I've got problems. No one seems to want to stay dead, and I can't go refunding all the burial money to all the families of the ghosts now. I can't afford it. So, I just want you to do a little job for me. Nothing hard. Just put the ghosts back where they belong. Quiet them down a bit. Well, there'll be a little bit in it for you as well, don't worry. Can't have you going away empty-handed now, can we? So, what do you say? Trouble? Well, they've always been trouble. Every few years, one would act up and we'd have to have some monks come by and put them down. But now, Now they're coming up all over the place. The last few years they've been becoming more and more common, and more of a problem as well. Especially for me. They don't take too kindly when I try to, tidy up their coffins and things. But it also means I can't use those areas of the necropolis. It's too dangerous now. So, you interested? Great! Now those ghosts will know who's boss around here. They just bring themselves back up as fast as I can put them in. I'll give you a reward for any ghosts you take care of. You can make good money that way. There are 3 main ghosts to deal with. Miss Chan, Merchant Bai, and Mr. Ren. I'll give you a reward for each, of course. I know a bit about them, but not that much. If you need a little something to give you an extra edge, I'm sure I can part with some trinkets I've found. I mean, it's not like they'll need them anymore. Right then. If you need to find me, I'll be at my house a little farther down this path. Help! One of those damn spirits came up right in my backyard. The stupid thing won't let anyone get by. It's got my tools and everything. Just kill the damn thing.
You will be crushed!
It's dead then? Heh, good. I knew that old bag would try to come back for me someday, but she wouldn't have guessed I'd have someone like you on my side. Yeah, I guess you could say that. She was my mother-in-law. Never once in her life did she say a kind word to me, and now she tried to keep at me even in death. You got what you deserved! Do you hear me? You deserved it! But any good job deserves a reward, of course. Here you go. She had some nice things in her grave, too. Since she's gone, I guess she won't be keeping me from them anymore. It's not a robbery. We're family. I'm just taking it back. Besides, she doesn't need it anymore, and I do. Now, go and find those ghosts I told you about. Can't get a good day's work done with them still around.
dead! That cheating, lying sow, sullying the Ren name and dragging it in the dirt like this, putting me in the dirt. Ren Fang, if I ever get my claws on you, I'll leave you a stinking, bloated corpse! You've heard of me? What do you know? What do you want here? I have no time for idiots who only want to rob my grave. I need time for revenge. Revenge on that treacherous, conniving woman who put poison in my food and left me to die. When I get my hands on her... Oh, but I can. I can find her and tear her to shreds. I'll scatter her bones to the corners of the earth. But first, I need to find my way out of this damnable cemetery. No matter which way I turn, I always end up back here. We'd been having fights, my wife and I, and she decided to end it. I sat down to eat, and the next thing I knew, I had choked to death and ended up here. That whore decided that I wasn't good enough for her, that she would just move on to something else after our years of marriage. She'll pay. Oh yes, she'll pay. But I have to find her first. Most likely, she's still at our old home. It's in the market district near the entrance to the Black Leopard School. Find her and bring her to me.
Talk to Junda if you'd like to buy some buns.
Welcome, welcome. Did someone from the Black Leopard School send you? No, I suppose you don't quite look like one of their students. Well, no matter. If you're looking for weapons, I have quite a good selection and reasonable rates. Would you like to see what I have for sale? Suit yourself. I have a lot of work to do. Good day.
Yes. Is there something I can do for you? Yes. Yes, I am. How do you know my name? Have we met? It
It should never have happened. I was preparing dinner for him, as I normally did, but it burned, so I went and bought some food already prepared. It was the salmon. I knew it smelled odd when I bought it, but the price was right, and I needed it in a hurry, and I'm so ashamed. It was not intentional. I will live the rest of my life with that guilt, and also the guilt of knowing that his spirit does not rest quietly because of it. I have tried to visit his grave, but his madness knows no bounds. He seeks to drive me away at all costs. I think he might even try to kill me. He never listens to me. He doesn't give me a chance, but maybe if you were there with me, could you be there with me? If you believe me, he might listen. Yes, if we went together, he might listen. Can we go now then, to see him?
You? You're back to gloat over this victory of yours, Harpy? Causing my torment and death, is that satisfying to you? How can you be so certain? How can you believe her after you know what she's done to me?
Because he believes me. He has seen me at our home mourning for you still. Not a day has gone by where I didn't cry over your death. It almost makes me wish you'd have your wish, just so I could be with you again.
Feng, you really do care. Then all this time, my cursing, it was wrong. You killed me, but I see now in those eyes I fell in love with that you didn't mean to and that it pains you greatly. I forgive you, Feng.
Thank you for what you have done, for both of us. In time, I hope I can repay you your kindness.
Wait!
The grave-digging business sure is a killer. What do you need? What about them? Good riddance. Hells, it was probably his old lady that offed him in the first place, and for good reason too, I bet. It's all just business to me, you understand? Here's the reward I promised you. Now, if you find any more, remember, I'll pay good money for you to put them back down again. So get out there and get some ghosts. Venerated ancestors. Anything else you want to know about the ghosts? Oh, well, if you do find one, put it back in the ground. That's when you'll get your money. Is there anything else? Well, you know where to find me.